Hello, I am Jody Wolf. You're watching Expoz on April 7, 2015, 2:50 a.m. Birmingham. Topic: live for 500 years. Sounds really interesting. You'll be promised that, by the way. I don't know if you know that, but Satan can promise you 500 years of life. He can promise it through the mixing of your DNA, which is what you'll be doing when you take the mark of the beast, or take his number or the number of his mark. And there is a multitude of things that mixing DNA can do. And our scientists, they know pretty much all that it can do, or a lot that it can do. For example, your hair color, your I know I had more than this. And your eye color, and your age. You know, how you want to look like you're 35. You want to be taller. You want to be stronger. You want a really high IQ. You want to be able to have sex 24 hours without stopping. Sounds like fun, doesn't it? But how in the world can he give you 500 years of life through the changing of your DNA going unchecked? It would happen. Going unchecked, you would live to be 500 years or longer. But it's going to be checked. Sorry about that. Reason is, if you take that mark, say 1 year into the tribulation, then you have 6 years left to live, buddy. That's it. At the end of 7 years, all bets are off. All people are going to die. The people who accepted Christ, had they taken the mark, then they can't accept Christ. If they don't take the mark, then you'll be beheaded. Then you'll be saved. You'll receive a crown of life by going through it. And but all the promises that he can make. So let me tell you what will probably be your age limit going into the 1,000-year millennium. Remember reading, not remember the event. Back in the days of Adam, everyone lived to be 900. I think the oldest man was 958 years, or 968. And slowly over time that dropped. But even after sin entered into Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, slowly the people quit living at 950, and then it's down to 850, then it's down to 6, then it's down to 550, then it's down to 400, then down to 300 and something. Well, it got all the way down to us. 25 years ago, it was down to about 70 years, or 30 years ago. Now it's creeping back up to about 80 to 90. But that will be the same upon entering into the millennium with Jesus Christ as King and as Lord. And people that enters into the tribulation that were saved, that entered to the millennium, that were saved during the tribulation, meaning they didn't take the mark and they didn't die. For some reason, they were able to hold out and hide out, because he will hide the Jews for 3.5 years. Not one of them will die during that time. So when you enter into the 1,000-year millennium, you will probably, reach about age 90 and die. And as that 1,000 years progress, toward the end of that 1,000 years, people that are born in say 800 years in, or even 600 years in, will probably never die. They'll live forever from that point on. So it lost momentum in the book of Genesis, Garden of Eden. The life lost its momentum and finally died out from 960 something years all the way down to 70 and 80 years, and then slowly it's coming back up. It'll do the same way in the millennium. It'll start slowly and start increasing because things will start getting back to normal the way they should be. And but once we pass that 1,000-year mark, and if someone did die during the tribulation, they'll be raised again. I mean, during the millennium, I'm sorry, I keep saying tribulation, that died during the millennium, they'll be raised again at the end of the millennium. This is where there's a great white throne judgment. And then, again, those who died in Christ won't be going through the great white throne judgment because they're saved by Christ. So, but there's millions that will have to accept Christ. Millions and millions, if not billions, during that time. That many people, there'll probably be 10, 15, 20, maybe 25 billion people on earth at the end of that 1,000 years, because death will start slowly dropping off and age raising up. Anyway, I want to just tell you about the lie that Satan's going to feed you, that you'll live 500 years and name your game and you got it. But what he failed to tell you was the tribulation lasts only 7 years and you're going to have to be gone by then. Jody Wolf, Expoz.